afternoon, everyone. Good evening and good morning for every single one of you who is joining. This is your host Elias here today. Once again, as promised, I'll be doing the weekly transfer the almost daily transfer news. We'll be looking at the various transfers that are happening inside the club, in other clubs, some of them how they affect Spurs and how they affect other clubs, what's going to happen. We will be looking at all that business almost daily at this stream. If you all want to come on, you can hop on as well. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. You can just click on the link and join me on StreamYard, and we can come and share. You come and share your thoughts about the transfer business, what's happening. Maybe if I miss something, you can come and share with me. If you want me to talk about a particular topic, you can tell me about that. And we will be discussing all of that and almost every single day. So I'll be doing this show on Mondays, Wednesdays, even sometimes on Thursdays, Fridays, and maybe perhaps 5 to 6 times a week. I will be doing this show, and we will be looking at whatever's going on at this club right now. So whatever transfers, whatever, and during the preseason, we will do some pre-match, post-match, and all that kind of content as well. So that's what's gonna be our summer going to be like. We'll be looking at all the rumors, all the news, and all that sort of stuff. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll have guests sometimes. Sometimes it will be just me. We'll be discussing all this kind of the stuff with you. And yeah, that's how we'll pass time in summer. Today I'm not feeling very well. So we'll see how long we can actually go on for this show. Yeah, but here we go. So let me just look at the comments. So here we have Eugene. Big up, hashtag Levy out. Levy out. Yes, get Levy out. Get Levy out of the club. No matter what, we need to get Levy out of the club. Don't be tricked into the transfers and all that. Although, yes, I'm a bit careful when I talk about transfer market and stuff. Like, how is it gonna be like? And yeah, whether Levy will pay money and all that or not. We know that Daniel Levy is a stubborn guy. Seriously, even with the certain deals that I'm actually going to discuss today, I know that yes, he's actually going to screw up some of that. So we got Spurs on sabbatical. We were never in a race for Maddison. He was always going to a Champions League club. At the latest report says that he's said to be excited to be playing Champions League football with Newcastle. I don't know, to be honest. What his take on that is, according to the journalist, according to some of the sources, we are still in the race. So I'll still look at that. Uh, Although yes, I agree with you. I kind of feel that he will end up at Newcastle, given Levy doesn't do deals well. So yes, if any of you want to come on and share your thoughts on the transfers, come and share your thoughts, guys. Seriously, I want to hear from you guys what you all think, of this summer. You got anything to talk about? You got any interesting topic that you want to look into? Come on and hop on and share your thoughts, guys. Like, I would love to hear from you rather than me telling you all the stuff. I usually love to hear from the audience, because to be honest, I'm a bit bored when I have to just talk about it myself only. So yeah. So according to the transfer market news and all that's going on there at the moment, let's look at firstly David Raya situation. So David Raya situation is going to be like, it looks kind of tricky at the moment. David Raya situation. So the Brentford director Lee Dykes has said that we sat in front of David and said, if you go beyond us, then that's the time for you to go. It's well within his rights, he told podcast TVG. Uh, so according to him, the 40 million fee, you have to pay double than reported 20 million because he can play in number 10. Wow. Like, what he says that David Raya can play in number 10. That's interesting. And that's like kind of big thing to say as well about a goalkeeper to play in number 10 role. I guess he's being sarcastic. But yeah, David, guys, give me just a minute. Yeah, just a minute, guys. Give me. Uh, Yes, so guys, I was talking about David Raya situation. So currently, what it looks like is that yes, we are on the verge of agreeing personal terms with him. Even the personal terms we haven't agreed yet. Yeah, by the way. So as according to yesterday, the breaking news that I shared, the breaking news was that that's what Fabrizio Romano reported yesterday, that Tottenham are on the verge of agreeing personal terms with David Raya. We haven't agreed anything with David Raya yet. So let's get it clear. We haven't agreed like whether David Raya will be coming or whether he would not be coming. It's all not yet finalized, by the way, guys. Uh, it's like it's something that I think he's particularly interested, and Tottenham seems to be one of those clubs that want to sign him, and and apparently they have had discussions with his agents, according to one of the sources. From what it looks like, they have had discussion with his agents that also positive. However, we are still on the verge of agreeing personal terms with David Raya. We haven't agreed a single thing with him yet, like whether he would be joining us or whether he won't be joining us. That's all up to him. Like there's no there's no concrete decision from either end, like whether what's his position in terms of this particular transfer. There's nothing much that has been agreed on that end. And from what I understand at the moment, like what the Brentford director has said is the fee is around 40 million, and that 40 million fee is a bit of an issue. And understandably, why that's an issue is because I think currently Daniel Levy is trying to haggle a few deals at the moment. First of all, he's trying to get the Kulusevski deal permanent. Secondly, he has to get the Clement Langley deal permanent as well. Apparently, we are signing him for like 6-7 million or something like that. Uh, and then Hugo Lloris is leaving. As we all know, Hugo Lloris is leaving. He has already said that he won't be staying anymore at the club right now. So that one is pretty understandable as well. Like if Hugo Lloris is leaving, then Daniel Levy must sign a number one. Like I don't think Fraser Foster is a number one, or even if Fraser Foster is gonna play as a number one, you need to sign a goalkeeper who can distribute, who can play well. And David Raya seems to be on our radar as the first choice option at the moment. Uh, I know some YouTubers, like I think this morning I was having a chat with Will Stewart. He was saying that yeah, he doesn't rate David Raya that highly or something along those lines. He was saying, and he made a comment that yes, we should be going for Jose Sa, not David Raya. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. Like, what do you feel about Jose Sa? I particularly feel that Jose Sa is a great goalkeeper, and with a good in a good team like Tottenham, he would really flourish. But I'm not in a position to talk much about that one as well, like because we are not well linked with that. But this David Raya situation is particularly, it seems like in our favor at the moment because there's no other club that's giving us competition in terms of the David Raya deal. But I feel at some point maybe Man United might come on because De Gea is apparently leaving, or I think he's a free transfer, something like he's a free agent or something like that. So there will be other clubs who will be so interested in that David Raya deal as well. So we need to work out this deal as soon as possible. We need to work out a solution for that. 40 million, if they are asking for 40 million and you already know that yes, Hugo Lloris is leaving, so Daniel Levy, get your checkbook ready, throw in the money, and get David Raya deal done. Like that's what we should be aiming for because there's no excuse that yes, if you don't have a number one at the moment, if you're going into a season without a goalkeeper, it just doesn't make sense to me, guys. Seriously. Uh, so at this point, Daniel Levy should go for 40 million or at least work out an offer that's doable. Like others would be interested in that sort of an offer. Work something out along those lines, guys. Like don't just miss on a deal like that because David Raya is one of the highly rated goalkeepers of the leagues. Like I'm a big fan of David Raya. I mean, I have enjoyed watching David Raya even like Brentford's first season, not even just this season. When I first time watched David Raya, I really love the guy. The guy has good reflexes. His distribution is great. He's good with his feet. He's a good sweeper as well. So why not? Why not go for a keeper like that? Why haggle and stay on this deal for so long? Like I particularly don't understand what's happening. And then that's particularly the situation with David Raya deal. But I would like to have a look at a bit of some stats from David Raya as well. So let's just have a look at David Raya's stats, David Raya stats. We look at the Okay, we'll look at the stats from last season, last two seasons. So David Raya. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay. So okay, David Raya from his 21-22 season, which was his first season in the Premier League. His heat map, as you can see, he is not particularly the kind of goalkeeper who stays very much in the box. He moves out. His heat map is kind of good, like you can see. The intensity is kind of in the area, other areas outside the box as well. Like he can supply the balls. He can be a bit of a sweeper as well. So I think last season he had a bit of an injury, if I'm not mistaken, and I remember that. Yes, I remember very clearly. He had a particular time where he was injured. I think he had a knee injury or something like that, but he recovered well. He came out from the knee injury. So he played 24 games, and in all 24 that he played, he actually started. He was minutes per game 90. Team of the week, he was in team of the week twice, guys. Last season. Goalkeeping. So goals conceded per game 1.1. That's not a bad stat considering a goalkeeper with a team like the Brentford. Guys, you need to remember that only this season is the time when David Raya when Brentford actually made their defense line kind of solid. Before that, previous season their defense was not that great. Like they were not that good. They didn't have Ben Me and all that kind of players. So it's kind of understandable why even that 1.1 is there. I think this year probably it was have improved. So penalty save 0 out of 4. Uh yeah, he didn't save any penalties last season. Saves per game 3.37, 74%. That's not bad as well. Success runs out per game 100%. Goals conceded 27. Conceded from inside box 20 and outside box 7. That's a pretty worrying stat. 7 from outside the box. That's kind of a concern actually. Like you can see the 7 goals outside the box. Goals prevented, so 1.30. Saves from inside the box 42 and saves from outside the box 34. So not too bad. Save scored 4, saves parried 10. Attacking wise, no, I mean he's not an attacker, so it's kind of understandable. Uh, Expected assists 0.05, 50.7 touches. Big chances created 0, key passes 0. Accurate per game 64%. Accurate opposition half 38%. Accurate long balls 44%. I'll need to check this stat against Hugo Lloris as well. Like, how does that look like? Accurate chip passes 55% and accurate crosses 0%. Clean sheets 8. So he kept 8 clean sheets last season for Brentford. Uh, yes, love you, John. Yes, love you. Uh, Accurate chip passes 55% and accurate crosses 0. Uh, Clean sheets 8. Clearances per game 0.7. Error led to goal 1 and penalties committed 1. Uh, so in the whole season, he only had 1 error led to the game. Successful dribbles, not much. Total duels 1, so he can win duels as well. So that shows that he can be a good sweeper keeper in a way. Uh, Ground duels won 50%, and aerial duels won 83%. So he's good in the air. Ground duels, I think he's a bit decent. Possession loss 14.6, not too bad actually. Uh, Yellow card only once, so not much of disciplinary issues as well. Let me just have a look at Hugo Lloris as well, and let's say compare players so far score. Let me just have a look at Hugo Lloris, guys. Give me a minute. Okay, so let's just look at Hugo Lloris stats. Because we know kind of Hugo Lloris games a bit more than some of our other players, so let's just look at that as well. Uh, uh, so guys, if you look at David Raya's map, his map was not so much intense within his own box only. Like this is Hugo Lloris, by the way, for all those of you, 2022, 23. Uh, like David Raya, he's kind of active outside the box as well, not just inside the box. So in terms of this, in terms of the distribution, in terms of a footballer on his feet, it says a lot. This heat map is particularly for those reasons. So let's just look at, and even like last season, even it was even less in his own box only. So he played 38 games and minutes per game 90. Team of the week, he was in 4 times. Okay, that's kind of better. Like I think Raya was only there twice. Goals conceded per game 1.1, and I think Raya is, yes, Raya is around there as well. Penalty saves 0 out of 2. Saves per game 71%. So David Raya was 74%, much better than Hugo Lloris. Uh, and then successful runs out per game is 100%, and goals conceded 40. So Hugo Lloris in 21-22 season he conceded 40 goals, whereas David Raya he conceded 27 goals only. Yeah, given the fact that yes, Brentford was not doing that well, David Raya only conceded 27 goals, which is less than what Hugo Lloris conceded, by the way, guys. Just so you all know. Um, yep. Uh, Hugo Lloris conceded 40 goals, conceded from inside the box 34, and conceded from outside the box 6. Uh, kind of bad. Saves made 98. Here I think David Raya he made how many saves? Saves made 78. So I don't know. Goals prevented minus 1.45, and David Raya was goals prevented. Why? Goals prevented 1.30. So good as well. Like in that regard, saves from inside the box 60 for Hugo, and then saves from outside the box 38. So let let me just change it here, guys. Hugo Lloris versus David Raya stats comparison. That's what I'm doing right now for those of you who have just joined. If you are here if you have just joined, make sure you guys hit the likes and the subscribes as well. Uh, so I'm looking currently at Hugo Lloris. So Hugo Lloris had save scored 0, saves parried 29. Not that great. Attacking not much as well because they are goalkeepers. Expected is 0.01, whereas David Raya is at expected assist from David Raya 0.05. So even as an attack, or even in terms of his assist, David Raya is expected to to provide more assists than what Hugo Lloris can provide. Lloris is only 0.01, whereas Raya is 0.05, so it's kind of more. Touches 30, big chances created 1. Okay, that's one thing about Hugo. I think the only big chance he created last season was the one I think in the Leeds game where he passed the ball to Kane and then Kane passes it to Son. I think that was the one. Uh, accurate per game 77%. Whereas David Raya is accurate per game 64%. But you guys need to factor in as well the fact that Hugo Lloris played all 38 games, where David Raya only played about 24 games last season. Yeah. Accurate own half 91% for Hugo, and then for David Raya, it's accurate on half 88%. Accurate opposition half 38%, and accurate long balls 47%. Uh, Accurate opposition half for David Raya is 38 and 44, so Hugo kind of have an edge on that. Hugo kept 16 clean sheets last season, whereas David Raya kept 8 clean sheets, but it's kind of understandable. It's Brentford, and their defense is not that great either. So I wouldn't say much about that. By the way, guys, let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about generally? Do you think David Raya is an upgrade over Lloris from the last 3 years, or do you think it's a downgrade? Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. Like, what are your general feelings about David Raya, looking at his stats and all that? By the way, the current stats on the screen are Hugo Lloris stats, not David Raya stats. I can put up the Raya stats as well. So overall, in many ways, ground duels won for Hugo is 84%. Sorry, 67%, and aerial duels 88. For David Raya is 50 and 83. I think ground duels he has an edge as well. Uh, Aerial duels, I think, because David Raya is not that tall of a player, so maybe I think he's kind of shorter than Lloris in terms of his height. Yeah. So next one is Hugo had 2 yellow cards and David Raya only one, so discipline wise as well, he has kind of an edge. But let me set it up on FB Ref, then I can show you guys the player comparison there better. Okay, so you can look at that as well. On FB Ref here as well. By the way, guys, if any of you want to jump on and come and share your thoughts, the link is here as well. I'm looking at the stats for David Raya versus some of the goalkeepers in the Premier League on FB Ref. Let me share my screen. Let me set it, by the way. Okay, minutes played. David Raya played. Oh, sorry, guys. This is not the correct criteria. And let's look at their entire careers, by the way, guys. Yep. So okay. Here is the goalkeeping stats. So minutes played. Among all of them, David De Gea has played more minutes. Whereas David Raya has 264 minutes. Hold on, guys. I think Let's just look at last season, guys. Better that way. Maybe here I should change it to someone like Martinez, maybe. Yeah. So okay, if you guys look at it here, okay, so matches played, I think all of them kind of like played between 35 to 38. These are all the players there. So in terms of starts, here 38 starts, minute 90s, goals against 60, goals against 90, saves. Okay, so David Raya had most saves in the Premier in some again compared to some of the other goalkeepers in the Premier League, and his save percentage is the most as well at the moment. Let me check if Jose Sa has more. Uh, okay, so here now we go. So he had most saves. Uh, at first we have David Raya, then we got Allison, then we have Jose Sa at 105. Save percentage as well, 77.7, and wins get 15. Uh, Clean sheets wise, I think it's David De Gea definitely who has an edge. David Raya had 12 clean sheets, but I guess it also depends on the team because keeping a clean sheet is a team effort. It's not so much of a individual effort. And then clean sheet percentage wise, David De Gea also had an edge. Penalty kicks attempted, Aaron Ramsdale, and penalty kicks allowed, 4. Penalty kick save. Jose Sa. Okay, Jose Sa has an edge on penalty kick saved. I'm. By the way, guys, for those of you wondering what am I doing, what is this spreadsheet and all that nonsense? I'm actually comparing David Raya's stats with some of the other goalkeepers. And looking like how is he in terms of the situation there. So that's what I'm doing. David Raya versus EPL goalkeepers. So all those of you who know what am I doing, what am I looking at? I'm not looking at some nonsense. Penalty kick saved. Jose Sa had more. I think David Raya didn't save a penalty kicks. Penalty kicks missed. I think there was none that David Raya had to even save this Premier League season. Interesting. Okay, advanced goalkeeping. So goals against, penalty kicks allowed, free kicks, goals against. Okay, free kick goals against. You have David De Gea, who actually conceded more free kick goals than anybody else. Then corner kick goals against, it was David Raya. Okay, this can be a concern. If we were to concede corner kick goals and then David Raya might be a concern there, guys. Seriously, for us. Like this season, he actually conceded 9 goals from corner kicks, which is not a good one. On goals, Emiliano Martinez had 4, and David Raya had 3 on goals this season. Hmm. So he can be a bit clumsy, by the way, guys. It's not that he's the best. Uh, 3 on goals in a season is a concern, guys. But sometimes also, guys, we need to realize as well that sometimes it could be that it's not his own goal. It's not his fault who actually that on goal was conceded. It could be others as well who conceded that on goal. Uh, so this one is post shot expected goals. Post shot expected goals is based on how likely the goalkeeper is to save the shot. XG totals include penalty kicks but do not include penalty shootouts unless otherwise opted, provided by Opta. And underline indicates that there's a match that's missing data, but that will be updated when available. Okay, so po post shot expected goals is expected goals based on how likely the goalkeeper is to save the shot. In terms of saving the shot as well, he is behind Allison and Jose Sa this season. So which results in his percentage is kind of bad. I don't know. So if there are many shots on target, he can be a bit of a concern, guys. Actually, looking at the stats, his stats doesn't look that great in terms of his stats don't look that great in terms of his so let's say this particular stat shows us that uh post shot expected goals per shot on target. So if there are shots on target, and then he's expected to save those shots on target after those shots are taken, how likely is he to save that particular goal? In terms of that, David Raya is not a great player, so it's a concern if you ask me, because if you are facing the strikers and wide forwards like Salah, Kane. Let's just say if Kane goes to another Premier League teams, you have Ivan Tony and all those kind of players, and they usually have quite a lot of shots on target. So if David Raya is up against those kind of players, and there are a lot of shots on targets coming on, then Raya is likely to miss what you call it, the sorry, concede goals there. But overall, in terms of shot stopping, on this is not just the shots on target. This is any other shot that will be scored there. So in terms of any other shot that will be scored, David Raya is kind of expected to save shots. The normal shots. So there's a difference. So this is shots on target. This is any other normal shots. So it's basically goals minus goals allowed. So that's that. So in terms of that, as you can see here, if you can see on my screen, the positive numbers show that he is likely to save those shots, and the negative number shows that how likely is that person to concede those shots. So in terms of David Raya compared to all the other goalkeepers, he has positive stats. So here he has an edge over Jose Sa, Aaron Ramsdale, and David De Gea. But actually, guys, I feel particularly that this is the one that kind of in the Premier League, especially, I think this stat is kind of an important stat. You need to have goalkeepers who can save shots on targets, and this is per 90 as well. So in terms of his percentage, he is around there as well. Uh, Passes longer than 40 yard, how many passes can he complete? In terms of that, he is the highest, so which means that his distribution is great. So if you look at this particular stat, it shows that David Raya's distribution is great. By the way, guys, for those of you who are in the comments, in the chats, if you would like to catch up on more of these kind of stats, contents, and all that, let me know your thoughts in the chats, in the comments. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you want me to look at any particular stat or any particular stuff, I would look at that too. And let me know if you would like me to do this kind of shows even more. uh And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, there's a subscribe button in the description as well, and also in the section next to my channel icon. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. So as I will be doing these shows now kind of regularly to look at certain players that we are linked with, at their stats and stuffs, and we will be discussing about that quite regularly. So if you would like to catch up on all that content, make sure you are subscribed. So passes launched that are longer than 40 yards, he is likely to complete that. How many passes he will complete? So last season he completed about 347 passes, which is way more than the other person, which is Emiliano Martinez. He only had about 200 passes that were completed. So it is a positive stats if you were to ask me about that as well. Uh, it isn't a bad stat, guys, in my opinion. Like it shows that his distribution is not bad. Passes attempted, he attempted 882 passes in amount, and from which he got 347. So if you look at the passing completion percentage against the launch passes, he is kind of second. So behind Allison, as Allison, you all always know that Allison kind of more often, or usually he kind of uh Allison is the kind of player who usually once in a while does provide an assist for his forwards like Salah or Firmino and those players. So Allison is one of the best, I think, in terms of distribution as well. So but he's not far off in terms of his distribution, in terms of his launching and finishing those passes. He's not that bad. So 39.3%, I think, is not a bad stat as well. He's second. Behind him, Emi Martinez, David Raya, Jose, Aaron Ramsdale, all are behind him. So that's his launching, and then that's now his passing accuracy. Okay. So just this season, he attempted 1,367 passes in 38 games. And attempted and then out of which 210, sorry, yes, 367 passes that he particularly attempted there. And then he had about throws 160. Yes, he had 160 throws. So launch percentage that he has is, in terms of his launch percentage as well, and in his, which is sort of like his passing accuracy for goalkeepers, he is ahead of Emi Martinez, Aaron Ramsdale, David De Gea, Jose Saw, Allison. And average pass length is 39.5. Okay, 39.5 yards. So when David Raya makes a pass, it goes up to about 39.5, which is almost like 40 yards. Goal kicks, he had 269 goal kicks that he made. Goal kicks attempted, basically. He had 269. He has an edge there, but that's kind of like, yeah, 269. And even then, among his goal kicks, he had 70.3% of his goal kicks were longer than 40 yards. And average length of his goal kicks is in yards is 51 yards. So actually, a player like him is likely to provide assists for strikers like Kane and Son. Like, let's say if Kane were to pick up his ball and time his runs nicely, Kane or Son, I think they are likely to score, and I think that's why he would work out well in the Ant system. Opponents attempted crosses in the penalty area. 598 crosses that he failed. and then he stopped 52. So opponents kind of attempted like about 600 crosses into the penalty area for David Raya, and he saved about 52, which is behind Emi Martinez. So it's about eight less. Feel free to call me whatever you want to call me. I'm not offended. Go ahead. 52. So he's only behind Emi Martinez in terms of how many crosses he has stopped. And his stop percentage also, as you can see, only behind Emi Martinez. He's ahead of Jose Sa, Alisson, Aaron Ramsdale, and David De Gea. Uh, in terms of his sweeping now, that's where we'll check the whole thing. I think he's a good sweeper. Is he a bad sweeper? Let's check. Uh, in terms of defensive actions outside penalty area, so that's what sweeping is. Sweeping is basically that you have to do some work outside. I think he's definitely ahead of Hugo Lloris in that particular aspect of the game. He's number three behind Allison, Emi Martinez, and David Raya. He's behind Allison and Emi Martinez there. So he had 54 defensive actions outside the penalty area throughout the 2022 and 2023 season. So, in my opinion, this is not too bad also. Uh, Defensive actions outside a penalty area per 90, around there. Average the distance of defensive actions. His distance of defensive action is not that much, so meaning he doesn't throw the balls maybe, but it could be that yes, he trusts his defenders well. It usually is the distance goes higher when you have a poor defense, so then the goalkeepers have to throw the ball all the way out into like 40 yards or 50 yards. That's when some of them do the sweeping there. So I think maybe when he's defending, he tries to play kind of safe, like with his defenders, and I think they have decent defenders. Brentford is not that bad in terms of their defenders. So yeah, I'm personally overall impressed with David Raya's stats. John Fitzpatrick, you don't have to tell me what I should do and what I should not do. When people talk shit, I'll call their name. Like when people are dumb, I'll say they're dumb. Like now you are trying to be dumb when you're telling me what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. What's wrong with that? Seriously, John, please grow up. Like why I cannot do name calling if people are talking about dumb stuff? Like when people like Mia say that stats are not cool and they say that people who talks about stats are obnoxious, that's a dumb comment. When people say that eye test is what matters the most, that's a dumb comment. So I'm supposed to call it out. Standard stats. Actually, we have already looked at advanced stats, so I guess it doesn't really matter here. In terms of status and minutes played, 38 stars, minutes, and all that. I guess yellow cards wise, also he has only one yellow card there. Red cards, none. Expected goals, even expected goals from him, he has a higher percentage, and I think because of the length at which he. John, what's your point? What are you trying to talk to me about? Like what's the point that you're trying to make here? I'm struggling to understand you here right now, by the way. Non-penalty goals 0.1. I guess that's because of the length of his passes. Because if the length of his passes is further, then he's likely to score goals. Like what I think it was Paul Robinson who was one of the goalkeepers who scored a goal for us. Expected assisted goals, he is 0.1 as well, behind Alisson and Emi Martinez. Not that bad. Uh, Non-penalty expected goals plus assisted goals, in a way he's kind of equal to both Emi Martinez and Allison. Uh, Progressive carries. Progressive carries are completed passes that move the ball towards the opponent's goal line at least 10 yards from its furthest point in the last six passes or any completed passes into the penalty exclude pass from defending 40% of the pitch. Yeah, not much from there. Progressive passes. He made about 13 progressive passes in the last season. In terms of that as well, he is ahead of the rest of the goalkeepers. Progressive passes received, no, nothing much, I think. He is not assist per 90. He doesn't have a good stat overall. Uh, Not much there as well. His XG is 0.01, nothing much to love about. So, in terms of his shooting, live ball passes, dead ball passes, passes from free kicks, and through balls. Actually, if you look at his overall stats, he's like either one, two, three. He's like in the top three overall. Like he's like if as I'm looking at his stats, he's not that bad. Like in terms of his goal and shot creation as well. Short creating actions, he is highest. Short creating actions per 90, he is highest as well there. For live balls as well, he's higher. Dead balls, he's highest. So overall, if I'm looking at David Raya, he has a perfect combination of good defensive stats and good attacking stats. Like guys, I would like to hear from you all as well. Like how do you all feel about this signing? In my opinion, is a decent signing, and 40 million is worth, like David Raya is worth 40 million, and I think he would fit well into the ant system because he would definitely help players like Son, Kane in terms of with his long passes when he will release those balls. I think it's high possibility that Son and Kane would score some goals from there. So I would take him, like seriously, guys. Like I wouldn't bargain on that kind of a deal. Like you can look at it the stats as I'm going through it. Like he is in top three here and there in most of those stats. Uh, Goals creating actions per 90 as well. He's the highest among all these goalkeepers, and these are the top goalkeepers of the Premier League. And completed live ball passes that lead to a goal. He's so in last season he completed live ball passes that led to a goal one, which is just behind Allison. Allison at two. I think Allison's two is that those two assists for Salah. Uh, in terms of his defensive actions, okay, he doesn't tackle much. Uh, no, nothing defensive third, nothing attacking third, nothing in terms of his tackles, not much. Dribbles, tackle, okay, dribbles challenged. He challenged twice. Tackle percentage, not that much. Lost in challenges, number two, not a concern for a goalkeeper. Blocks, one. Shots blocked, not none for all of them actually. Passes blocked, one. In terms of interceptions, so yes, he is good at his interception as well. Number of players tackled plus number of interception, he's number one. Clearances, okay, that's the one where I'm kind of concerned now. Clearances wise, he's kind of behind. Uh, and mistakes leading to an opponent's goal, he's number four. Uh, I don't know seriously. Hello, Minerals. How you doing?
Man, listen, what's up? Like,
Yeah, I'm doing
you're
good.
talking, you're rating who? Which
Huh?
defender is it? Is it Ndicka you're rating
No, no,
or?
no. It's not Ndicka. I'm looking at David Raya's stat against
Oh yeah,
goalkeepers
David
as well.
Raya. So, yeah.
Big up, Minerals. Tell me what the wrongans are talking about on YouTube right now.
I haven't scrolled, but I just saw like Sava say that, oh, even if Spurs finish 10th, Ange needs to be the manager.
Uh, we shall see. It really depends on the season. I mean, I think it's too early to make that sort of a call. That's the problem that I have with a lot of these people, these YouTubers, that they make these kind of very early calls, and ruin the expectations for the rest of the fans. Oh, sorry. Let me wear my headphones so I can hear you there clearly.
Exactly. Like he's lowering the expectations, yeah? And by lowering the expectations, you're giving Levy a bye, do you know what I mean? You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yep. Yep. Uh, okay, Minerals. The other one I want to ask you is, in terms of goalkeepers, how do you feel about David Raya so far? I know you're an Arsenal fan. Do you think, because I look at his stats, in a way his stats are to an extent better than Aaron Ramsdale, but how would you look at it?
He's a very good keeper. Good, he knows how to come out of the box, you know what I mean, and clear the ball away. What do you call that again? Sweeper, right? He's a good
Yeah,
sweeper keeper too.
he's a good sweeper
Mm.
as well. Yep. So in terms of his sweeping, I was looking at it just now. Sweeping. Where is the sweeping stats? Uh, 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 Let me have a look at that.
Yeah, he also he's a decent shot stopper, I would say. Like he only
Yep.
struggles with with header goals, in my opinion.
I don't know which kind of balls. Which balls you're referring to depends on that.
He
Yes,
doesn't
Scott.
know, but
Big up.
I'm big up score M, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big up, Scott. Yep. So depends of which ball you're talking about.
He's always
Uh,
in the woods, man. He said that
yeah.
he wants Spurs to be a young team. No, listen to this opinion. He said that he wants everyone gone and he wants a young FC kindergarten model, which is Daniel Levy's model, by the way. He wants young players that he can let on sell and have like expectations for top four. And Sava even said that he doesn't care if those young players finish 12th as long as they give it their all. You know what I mean? So weird, man.
Yeah.
And to think he wants Levy out, yet he's feeding into his model of young players. What a clown.
I'm looking at the sweeping stats of David Raya, and I can't find them. Never mind. Yeah, so that's David Raya. Okay, guys, let me know in the comments as well. In from 1 out of 10, what are your expectations from David Raya? Do you think he is going to turn up as a really good signing? Uh,
Very, very good signing. Much improvement on Lloris.
yeah, it's just for views. Yeah, is all for views. I know I've spoken to that guy before, and he usually tell me that yes, he did this, he did that because he portrays a different character. Like let me read that particular text that Sawa sent me last time. So once I confronted him on him being a bit too much of a he was being a bit of a jerk, so I sent him a text. He was basically saying something about Jack Grealish, and I was basically just agreeing with him on that particular thing. Uh, and this Rongan, what he said to me the other day. Let me read out the proper one there. I portray a character when pushing back. That's what he said. With smiling, three smiling emojis. When I called him out and on like his behavior, he said that I portray a character when pushing back. That's what Sawa said to me. Yeah. Uh, for you all to know. But anyways, enough about Sava. I'm gonna look at another particular defender.
Is it
Now
Evan
I'm gonna look.
Ndicka?
Yes, Evan Ndicka. I'm gonna look at him. Like, what are his stats like? So let's look at Evan. Obite Ndicka, Evan Ndicka. He plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, right? His name is Obite Evan Ndicka. Yes, correct. So player comparison.
He's left Frankfurt pretty much, man. He's not signing a new deal because of the wages.
Yeah, he's a what you call it? Free
Free,
agent. Player comparison.
bro.
Okay, guys, let me know who would you want me to compare Evan Ndicka stats with? Minos, maybe you tell me who would you like me to compare him with? In terms of the
Compare him
defenders.
with with like
Give me one, two,
Guardiola.
three, four, five, five. Okay, so one is Guardiol, Josko Guardiol. Last season, I suppose.
Yeah, last season, this yeah, 2022, 23.
Okay, who else? Who else? After Guardiol, which other center back?
Which other centre back? I think you should also compare him to Maxence Lacroix from Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga.
What's the name of his spelling? What's the spelling of his name?
Lacroix. The X is silent in French.
Lacroix.
Yeah,
L A
it's
C R
Lacroix.
O S.
Yeah.
L
L
A C.
A Roix.
Okay, Larox. Which team he plays for?
Wolfsburg. He plays for Wolfsburg.
Maxence Lacroix. Okay, Maxence. Okay, Wolfsburg player. 22, 23. Who else?
Well, so also compare
John
him to
John Stones.
nah, not John Stones, man. He's better than him, man. John Stones is Man City, man. You have to compare
Yeah,
him to Man
exactly.
City.
I think yeah, I would look at Bazuno as well. By the way, later, guys, Bazuno as well. That's another one. Like a lot of people have been asking me. Without him to look up status, and sell. No, that's
Medina. Look at Facundo Medina from Lens. It's called Medina.
Medina. Let me look at Medina as well. How you spell it? Medin. Stefan
A.
Medina.
Yeah.
Which team he plays for?
Lens.
What's his full name? Alan Medina, is it?
Let me go on Google and see. Medina Lens.
Medina Lens. Oh, Facundo Medina.
Yeah. He's Argentinian. He's a center back.
Facundo Medina is here. 22, 23 season. Okay, player five. Which other player?
Which other player? Maybe compare him to Jonathan Tah, the guy that's linked to
Jonathan.
Spurs. Tah, Tah from Leverkusen. He also linked to them.
Oh, are we linked with him?
Yeah, as well. He's on your radar.
Okay, I'll look at it. Okay, player six would be who?
Player six.
After player six. Look at some top defender, bro, like somebody from who's doing really well in Syria or Premier League.
Maybe Ibanez from Roma. He's quite young and good.
Or the Brazilian
But
guy.
yeah, the Brazilian guy. Ofikar Tomori, to be fair.
Okay, get results. And there we go. So okay, for John Fitzpatrick made another dumb comment. He said the only two people who know YouTube that know football without having to look up Sava and Stel now. That's a fact. That's your opinion. That's not a fact because when you say that somebody knows football without having to look up stats is an opinion. you are not backing up with any particular rational fact. So it's your opinion. It's not a fact. So
Exactly.
learn what a fact is. It's your opinion, John Fitzpatrick. Maybe style to a certain extent I can understand, but even that is your opinion. It's not a fact. So bring me facts. What do you think, Scott? So
Give us
basically,
that.
Scott, he's asking you whether Sava and Stella are the only two people who knows football on YouTube without having to look up stats. But there's nothing wrong about looking at stats. Like I am not
Exactly.
somebody who's an expert, but I'm a learner. There's nothing wrong with being a sound learner to know how you do things. Like why would I need to memorize everything when nowadays everything is there on FBref and all these websites? Like what's wrong with that? I don't understand when these people come out and suddenly say that, oh, they're like only two people who know football is BS basically. John Fair, think about what? Yeah, basically he's referring to his previous text, Scotty. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at now this one. Okay, so let's look at Evan and Ndicka stats. Minerals, can you see it clearly on your phone?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so last minute, Ndicka played 30 minutes. Oh, 30 matches, sorry. And he started in all 30. In terms of his starts, he's third among all of them. He played third amount of most minutes, and 90s played also third. He had one goal. He had four assists. Oh, sorry, no, he didn't have four assists. No, he didn't have any assists. Goals and assists, he had one. Non-penalty goals, he had one. He had penalty kicks made, none. Yellow cards, okay. He had four yellow cards. That can be a bit of a concern, but I think yellow cards for a center back is understandable. Like,
It's understandable because you have to defend and go on the ground sometimes.
yep. So for center back, it's kind of understandable, even if he had that many yellow cards. Uh, In terms of his red cards, he had none.
Very
Ibanez had
disciplined.
more. Ibanez had one red card. So all of these center backs had no red card. Okay, his XG is number 4. He is point 0.4 behind Guardiol. His non-penalty XG is 1.4 as well. His expected assisted goals, he is not that high as well. But I think it's understandable. Uh, his non-penalty expected goals, he's number 4. Progressive carries, he's number 16. So carries the more that move the ball towards the opponent's goal line at least 10 yards from his furthest point in the last 6 passes, or any carry into the penalty area. He is not that great in that regards as well. Number 4. Hey Josh, good to see you here, man.
Hello, how are
Very
you
good,
How you
doing?
very
doing?
good. Very
I'm
good,
doing good. I'm
Joshua.
doing
What's
good.
new?
So we are today looking at some stats for some of the players that we are linked with. We just looked at David Raya,
Yeah,
and we are now looking at Ndicka stats. By the way,
Oh
before
man,
we go into stats, maybe you let me know your thoughts on David Raya transfer. Like, what do you feel about that?
I think it's a clever move. Deal needs to be done ASAP because there's going to be soon a lot of teams who are going to go for a goalkeeper. So I believe Tottenham Hotspur need to make the deal now.
exactly. ASAP.
Pardon?
You just need to make that David Raya deal ASAP because he's the keeper you need, man.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think also David Raya, the fact that he's very calm. He's a calm goalkeeper. Here we've got I think he's like 27. I want to say
He's
26, 27.
27, yeah. He's 27. You
27
looked
years. So
it up.
we got a good like 8 years, 8, 6, 7, 8 years with him if he does sign for Tottenham Hotspur. And I think obviously also because goalkeepers can go on for much longer than regular footballers. I mean, I think David Raya is a fantastic option for Tottenham Hotspur, especially now the fact that Brentford are in a way they're not in the highest, they're not in that top top half of the table as in fighting for Europe right now. They just finished just below us, so we still have a chance of signing their keeper. I believe that if they do get into Europe next season with David Raya in their team, they're not going to be looking to sell him at all.
They
So
won't
I think
sell
this
him
is
at all, man.
pardon.
Yeah. So Sorry, Josh, go ahead.
No, I think right now it's the best to get David Raya.
Minos, you're saying something?
I was also saying it will be even harder because like they'll keep him on, man, especially if they get European football. Because you know what I mean, he's massive
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, the Brentford chairman today, he came out and said, I think it was, I don't know if you guys have looked at that one. So Brentford chairman today said, Lee Dykes, his name is Brentford director, sorry. He said that we sat in front of David and said, if you go beyond us, then that's the time for you to go. It's well within his rights. He told podcast TBG. I don't know what is podcast TBG. Uh, I think it's one of the Tottenham podcasts in Spain.
Yeah.
And he said 40 million pound fee. You have to pay double than reported 20 million because he can play in number 10. Wow. I
Oh,
guess he's talking about his. I think that's kind of like a bold statement that he can play in number 10, but I think he's referring to the fact that he's a bit of a creator as well in terms of his sweeping skills. He's not that bad, so I think he's referring to that. But what do you think? Do you think that that Brentford is just making that kind of a statement to evaluate him slightly higher, or do you think that he deserves that sort of a value that at what Brentford
Question.
are valuing him? Yeah.
Who are you asking?
Sorry.
Who's that question for? Sorry.
I'm asking you, Josh.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So no, that's the thing. I think right now what people need to understand is the valuation of a player is completely changed. I mean, I was talking to my mate regarding Harry Kane news, and I said to him, "Look, personally, I don't know about you guys. Personally, I wouldn't take anything less than 130 mil, something like that, 130. Just because I value the player at 130, I think he's worth to the club 130. David Raya to Brentford is worth 40 mil with no doubt. And what's his name? Who's Thomas Frank? What he said regarding if he had 3 more years in his team in his contract, he would be worth 70 mil. 100%, I agree. 100%. The basic comparison I can give to you is the fact that Jack Grealish went for 100 mil to Man City. He's not a 100 mil worth player. Let's be honest, he's not a 100 mil worth
no,
player.
not
But
100 mil, man.
he's worth to Villa 100 mil. He's worth to the
Villa
club.
that money.
Pardon?
It all depends to the club valuations as well. But like,
Yeah.
I've imagined myself this. What if you sell Kane for like, let's say, 80 million max, yeah? And this, that, and the other. Like,
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you not be quite happy because it costs you nothing at the end of the day?
I'd be happy, but I think that we could get much more of him. I had someone in my comment section writing saying I would take 70 mil plus Furlan Mendy. I was like, absolutely not. Don't know. I wouldn't take Furlan Mendy plus 75 mil for Kane because he's basically saying basically what you're trying to say is that the 75 mil plus Mendy is worth Harry Kane, and I believe that the fact is, let's say we
No,
want to now go.
he only has a year in contract though.
It
And
doesn't matter though, because that 1 year can help Tottenham get back into Europe football, plus be in a way a big part of this whole beginning of the new project for Ange Postecogolu. I think Harry Kane has a huge personality in the team dressing room. But regarding David Raya, if we need to splash 40 mil for a keeper, why not splash 40 mil for a keeper? Liverpool just signed 35 mil Alec McAllister, World Cup winner. How is 40 mil for David Raya not worth it? It's not. I don't get it. But yeah,
but I'm just saying though, Harry Kane costs you nothing though. Anything is
I
nothing.
agree. Sure, but he's still not worth selling for 75 mil, 80 mil. Of course, it will be a huge dub. Selling a player for absolutely like only getting back. Only receiving money, 80 mil. We haven't spent a single penny off for Harry Kane. But at the end of the day, you got to think about it. And the fact is that 80 mil for Harry Kane right now. Would you take it? No, I wouldn't. Because I think what he can do this season is worth more than 100, worth more than 80 mil, in my opinion.
Definitely
Fair enough.
worth more than 80 mil. I think we should be selling Harry Kane at least for, like, let's say I was saying to somebody the other day that if you want to sell Harry Kane to United, you should take at least 80 to 90 mil plus. Let's say if they are not playing kid cash, ask them to give us a player or like let's say Sancho, whatever. He's valued at something like that. I feel.
But you also got to remember that 40, 50 is in nowadays is absolutely nothing. It's pennies nowadays. 80 mil for Harry Kane is an absolute bargain. I'd bite your hand
It
off
is.
for
It
80
is.
mil. It's mental. And people forget this that we're now going into a different time when football players will start going for 100, 120 mil. The basic players like flipping Ben White will go for 100 mil. Rafael Varane went for 60 mil. That's nothing. I mean, we're talking about now. There's a different evaluation for players, and I think the world and football fans like us need to now understand the fact that Harry Kane or flipping I don't know David Raya going for X amount is now different. We got to think, okay, back then 80 mil, however much it was Gareth Bale we sold at 80 mil to Real Madrid is mental back in the days. Now it's not even worth Jack Grealish.
Exactly.
So it's big difference.
Yeah, so I think we should be valuing Harry Kane much higher than what the offers are coming from. Like for me, at least he is 130 mil. If you ask
Yeah,
me,
100% agree. Yeah, spot on.
130 mil at least, which is what we should be getting for Harry Kane. Yeah, I want to go on to my next point. I don't know. Josh, have you heard the links about Evan and Ndicka that we have contacted his agent and we are looking to go into that deal as well?
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've been a big fan of Ndicka for almost a year now, and I think he's a special player. He's a very talented player. And look, it's one of those which it's just a perfect deal for Daniel Levy. He's on a free contract ended now. I can't remember. I think I'm not too. I don't want to say where he plays because I'm not too sure where he plays. But he's on a free now, and it's about time that I think he steps up his game. He's a brilliant centre back. Come to Tottenham Hotspur, and look, you will be playing top football, not Champions League, but top football in a top league. And you'll be starting. Let's be honest, you will be starting. Whether Postecogolu wants to play 2 at the back or 3 at the back, he will be starting nevertheless. So it just depends.
I think he will be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he will play alongside Romero, but it'll be interesting to see because Ndicka is the type of player who he's very calm. He's calm. The only thing I'm very scared about, which I'm just checking now, is the fact that he is 23 years old. So he's not that. Frankfurt. That's where he plays. He's not that experienced. He's 23 years old. So the experience side of his is not really there. So if Tottenham want to go for a more experienced defender to play alongside Romero, like Otamendi does in Argentina, that will be a very good and intelligent move. But Ndicka, I wouldn't mind Ndicka at all. I'll be buzzing to have Ndicka. One for the future as well.
Yep. And are you more of a stat person? Because I was actually looking at stats for Ndicka. Would you like to evaluate that with me? Let's have a look at that. Yeah, so actually Ndicka, his stats are in terms of progressive carries, like carries that the move the ball towards the opponent's goal line at least 10 yards. He is actually at number 4.
Yeah.
In terms of his progressive passes, he is 94 from last season. And then if progressive passes received, he is at number 5. He's at number 3 with 5 progressive passes. Okay, goals per 90, not that great stat. Like he's not his goals per 90 is not that great. Assists also not that great. Goals plus assists per 90 also not that great. So I think he's more of a defensive center back, but I'll look at his defensive stats later. Non-penalty goals are on there. There's nothing much to look at. His non-penalty goals and assists there as well. His XG is 4th, 0.05.
Yeah.
Expected assist goals per 90. Expect assisted goals per 90, and yeah, I guess in his standard stats he is pretty much average. Okay, let's look at his shooting. Okay, goals scored or allowed last season.
Are you sure that's Ndicka, by the way?
Yes,
yeah,
Obite and Ndicka.
Yeah.
Obite
Okay,
and
fine.
Ndicka. It is.
You know what I mean? Like he's quite slow as well, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's true. It's
Yeah,
true. He is a bit slow.
Josh. Yeah, Josh, go ahead. Go ahead with that. Go ahead with that.
Cool. All right, sick.
I
Thanks.
just saw you. I
Yeah.
just saw that. Hi Dan. We are looking at the stats at the moment for Evan and Ndicka. Yeah, if you're yeah. So that's for his shooting. Okay, his goals scored allowed. He has one goal that he scored last season. He has shots total 17. I guess that's his total shots in the goal area. Then shots on target, he's number 3 among all these defenders. And then shots on target. Dan, can I mute you for a while because I can hear your
Okay.
TV behind? Yeah, you can
Sorry,
stay here.
sorry. I think it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shots on target, he is sorry.
But shooting for a defender isn't that important. But
Isn't that important?
it's
Um,
not.
uh,
But what's interesting to see about that, by the way, is the fact that we've got a lot of people know that Ben Davies has a shot on him. He's got a shot on him, Ben Davies.
yep.
But then look at all our other centre backs. We want to see more goals. We want to see more goals coming from the centre backs. Obviously, our corners apparently one of the most lethal teams in terms of corners in the Premier League. But I would like if Ndicka does come to Tottenham Hotspur, it'll be interesting to see whether or not how he will integrate into the system of Postecogolu. Because as I said previously, if he does play 3 at the back, where is Evan Ndicka going to play? Which side of the
I think I lost Josh. So let Josh come back.
Sometimes you have to speak to Josh. Yeah, so
Yeah, so I think to answer Josh's question, sorry. Yeah, so Josh, to answer your question, I think we should play Ndicka at so Romero at the right, and I think Ndicka is a left-footed player. Let me so you can play Ndicka as on the left, and then you put so I think if you have Romero and Ndicka there as your regular starters, your defense is more or less sorted. I'm not worried about our front line giving us goals. So I think you need a solid defense at the moment because our problem is not so much of scoring goals. If you still have Harry Kane next season, let's just say if we have, and if you have Son next season, and even if you have Kulusevski next season, I think that's not our concern. If you have Ndicka and Romero, they are doing defensively well. It shouldn't be a problem like where your goals are coming from. So I'm not that concerned that yes, Ndicka's shooting stats are not that great. But even in shooting stats, these are some of the best defenders in the world, by the way. Like you're looking at the likes of Guardiola, Lacroix, Medina, those kind of players. And so shots on target percentage, he has 17.6. He's at number 6. Shots total per 90 shots per 90 minutes, so he will have about the thing about him is that he does have shots on the goal in the goal area, but they are not on target. So it's about, let's say, he's at number 4. So shots total would be actually the shots that are not on target. The SOT will be shots on target. Shots on target per 90, he is number 3. So per 90 is not that bad, but overall his stat was kind of poor.
Tell me something. How much you think Ndicka, if he was on his last contract, how much you think Frankfurt? How much do you think Frankfurt value Ndicka? Let's say he's not coming on a free.
Doing good, man. How much would I value Ndicka if he wasn't coming on a free?
Yeah.
40-45 million. I think around same range as Romero.
Okay, but I just believe we got Romero on a complete bargain. But like I said beforehand, the transfers nowadays is absolutely mental. The fact that players are going for 60-70 mil, and we got a player like Romero got for 40-45 mil. But yeah, fair enough. I got to jump off, but I appreciate you coming on here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, mate, for coming on.
Cheers.
Really, yep. Cheers, mate. Yeah, let me look at that as well. The rest of the stats. So okay, his shooting per 90, he is kind of like at number 4. Goals per shot, not that great. Goals per shot on target, he is number 3. Average shot distance, he is 12.7%, 12.7 yards. So he doesn't make the very long balls as well. That's another one. Expected goals from him, number 4. So 1.4 is his XG. XG is, by the way, not a stat, is a metric. 1.4 there. Non-penalty expected goals per shot. He's kind of poor. Okay, goals minus expected goals. Okay, he's at minus. So passing. Okay, let's look at his passing accuracy. 90s played, passes completed. Okay, in terms of passes completed, he is 1,563. He attempted 1,815 passes, out of which 100,563 he completed. Passes completion percentage. Okay, he's not that great, by the way. So he's 86.1%. I wonder what that stat would be like against some of the other defenders that we have currently in our squad. Who just left, by the way? Was it Dan? Okay.
For them, I think.
Okay. Okay. Then total this passing distance. His passing distance is about 26,918. Yeah. Yards total. Progressive distance passing. He's number 3. Passes completed. Short passes. He's number 2. Okay, so short passes is not that bad. In terms of attempting short passes, he's not that bad as well. Passes completion percentage was short. Okay, short passes accurate percentage I think is good, because you want to have some defenders who can play like short balls and they are kind of accurate and don't screw up, that sort of a thing. And in medium, passes completed medium, he is number 4. And attempted, sorry guys, I'm not feeling well today actually.
Man,
Long passes not that bad. He
but
attempted about
his passing is not that bad too. Like he spreads the counter attacks for Frankfurt as well, I think.
yep. The completion of his long passes, the percentage wise, is number 6. Actually, compared to these defenders, his stats are not that awesome, by the way, guys. Goals and okay, defensive actions. Let's look at his defensive actions. That's where it matters the most. Okay, so in number of tackles tackled, he's number 3. Okay, not bad. 25 number of tackles tackled. Tackles won, he's number 3 as well. Defensive third. Okay, defensive third. He doesn't go there, obviously, because he's the center back. Sorry. Yes, even in defensive third, he has like 10 tackles compared to all the other defenders. He's not that great, guys. Mid third, he is number 11. He has 11 tackles in mid third. Number 3. So he seems more like the kind of defender who makes tackles in the midfield. In the attacking third, he's kind of higher. Dribblers, okay. In terms of his dribbling, okay, dribblers tackled 18. Number of unsuccessful challenges plus number of dribblers tackled. Okay, that's not a good stat. Oh, numbers of unsuccessful challenges plus number of dribblers tackled. Oh, unsuccessful challenges plus number of dribblers tackled. Okay, that's not bad. So number of dribblers tackled divided by numbers of attempts to challenge an opposing dribbler. 56.3. So he's behind Ibanez and Jonathan Tah, and he's better than Guardiola there. Challenges lost. He has lost 14 challenges, which is just one more than Guardiola.
It's surprising. It surprises me because, like, in what way does he lose them? Does he lose them in the air, or he loses them on the ground by getting beat?
I'm gonna look at that. So the aerial duels and all that one will come later. Challenges lost. He lost 14. It's one more than Guardiola. Okay, how often he blocks the ball with okay, that's a good one. I think we need a defender who can blocks the ball by standing in its path. Because currently Dyer, Davis, Langley, all those, they seem to be scared of the ball. Shots blocked, not bad. 19 shots blocked, and passes blocked 28. So this part, he's good. He's a good shot blocker. In terms of his interception, 31, which is like just 3 less than Guardiola. Numbers of players tackle plus number of interceptions. Okay, 56. Okay, not too bad. In terms of his clearances, 150. So not bad. He had 150 clearances. So even that's kind of good to see. Okay, possession wise, I think I won't go in there. Miscellaneous fouls drawn, offsides. Okay, the aerial duels and all, I have to look at SOFA score. I think let's look at there. SOFA, Evan and Ndicka. Stats
So
from 20.
let's see.
Hold on, is this the correct player? Oh, that's the one. Okay, Bundesliga. Okay, I'll just look at Bundesliga stats first. Or should I look at all comps? Let's look at all competitions, guys. Okay, so he had. Okay, so his total ground duels he has won 47% and aerial duels 61%. Big up, brother. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
So in terms of Evan and Ndicka, like look, let me just change the tab here. Share screen, Evan and Ndicka. Yeah, so if you look at that, he won total duels 55%, among which he 47% of those were ground duels and 61% of them were aerial duels, and then some other were like so 60s. So he can dribble quite well as well. Successful dribbles 67%. So his defensive stats, I don't think they're really bad in terms of his defense, but I think attacking wise he's not the kind of defender who like give you like long balls and that kind of stuff. So I think he's a decent signing as well. Like in a way, from what it looks like, he's more like a Romero type of player to me.
Nah,
Just a left.
Romero like is good at distribution. To be fair,
Yeah, he's okay, I guess. Not the greatest of the players in terms of distribution as well. His long balls are good, but I think
uh,
in terms of his the defensive stats, Romero and Ndicka are like kind of around there. I'll have to compare him with Romero as well somewhere. But let's see. I think discipline wise, he looks okay as well. So I'm kind of excited about this signing too. The other one is guys. I wanted to go on the James Maddison news. So James Maddison one, we are. I'll just wrap it up shortly because I need to go to Eugene's show as well. I need to do some work in the middle.
yeah, man,
So
me
guys,
too, man.
James Madison one, according to some of the sources, what's going on is that yes, Newcastle are leading the race, but we are
Yeah,
still
Newcastle, man, are leading. You know what I mean?
yes. So they are
It's
leading the
close.
race, but we are still in the race to sign James Madison. So I think it's not a deal breaker because who knows at one point maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm not that hopeful for the deal to be done in favor of Spurs. It looks like that Newcastle will take that deal. The other player that looks like is coming to Spurs is James Ward-Prowse. So Ward-Prowse is from Southampton. Southampton has been relegated. So James Ward-Prowse looks like he's linked to us. Okay, one positive factor, guys, that kind of draws me towards these two deals is that both James Ward-Prowse and James Maddison, they are England internationals and they are homegrown players, if I'm not mistaken. So Daniel Levy, if he wants to sell Eric Dyer and Ben Davis this summer, he needs to get certain homegrown players to fill in that quota as well. Especially if he's selling the likes of Wings and all those kind of players. He needs to get certain players who are homegrown. So I think in that way he may go big for that those kind of players. But I really don't know what would it be like in terms of the total likelihood of these kind of deals, but we shall see when it goes. Yeah. Minos, any last thoughts? You want to say something?
James Ward-Prowse, like I think he can also fit your English quota and also improve that midfield creative wise because He's also good at free kicks.
Okay,
And
he's good at free kicks, but he's not. He's basically a Hoiberg who can take free kicks. But problem with Hoiberg is he's too sideways, and I think James Ward-Prowse what he offers is like his passes goes in front. I'm not too excited about the James Ward-Prowse deal. I'll take him, but it's just like man, like nothing special about that guy. Like I would rather have someone like Sofian Amrabat or that kind of a player.
yeah, Sofian Amrabat, he's better progressive wise though, but it's kind of
Yeah.
similar.
Yep. By the way, guys, I think there are a few of you still in the chats. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the likes, hit the subscribes, do all that good stuff. I'll be back with this show now again on Wednesday afternoon. I'll do it a bit late. I think probably about 3 p.m. UK time or something like that. Or maybe I'll do it. I'll see how it goes. Like maybe I'll do slightly late at night. Around maybe 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. UK time. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, I'll be taking off tomorrow from the show, so I won't be at any shows tomorrow. Tonight, later on, I'm going at Eugene's show at Spurs TV. I'll be there. I think Minerals is joining as well. So if
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
catch
in a
that
couple
one,
minutes.
catch me there too.
In 21
And
minutes, the stream starts.
yep, it starts in about 20 more minutes. So I'll be there. And as always, Levy out and come on, you Spurs. You don't want to say come on, you Spurs, Minerals?
Never, never, never. No chance.
Okay, just kidding.